So something happens, and it happens in a weird way with Disney. Disney likes to make movies, and then to capitalize off these movies, they like to make sequels, and then they like to make more and more sequels. Something I've seen that was very successful that I didn't get into at first was this movie called Frozen. And Frozen spawned a second movie. And when Frozen spawned the second movie, I went back and watched the first one. And then I found that the second movie of Frozen was inadequate. Just wasn't as good as the first one.
Frozen, correct.
And now we're on to another series that is becoming a saga, or more things, is becoming a series actually. And that's your favorite movie?
I mean, I'd say it's one of my top movies. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. Because Encanto is my favorite.
All right, so what is this movie called?
We are talking about Moana 2.
And we'll talk about Moana in a little bit here and there. I'm JR.
Because we like to compare. And I'm Stacey.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, King Germ, one half of Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Each and every Friday, Queen Germ and myself drop an episode to show the people how Pod and saved our marriage. Now, we're not like most married couples. Most of the time we disagree, but that's the beauty of the show. So, when you get through listening to Sparrows UnderReview, come give us a listen. Each and every Friday on any DSP, go look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage.
And that was our intro right there. Wow. We're using a Rodecaster, and that was the first time I got to play that out.
So I have questions. Were you hearing it?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. So y'all get a little behind the scenes here. I didn't hear anything.
Okay, we'll have to.
So I was kind of confused on what you were doing. I thought you were sitting there dancing by yourself.
Yeah, that was the actual intro. We'll have to figure out how to get you to hear it. Okay. As long as I can hear that part, that's all that matters.
I guess. If that's how you feel about it.
I mean, right now, shout out to King Germ and them over there at Pod.
Oh, was that his?
Yeah,
his
Queen
thing?
Germ, yeah.
Thank you for your introduction. And no matter what JR says, I don't want that to change. Don't make him or let him convince you into a new introduction, because I like the one we got.
Contractual obligations make it to where that I have to keep it open for everyone.
Listen, I'm the owner of this podcast, so I did not sign any contract with him. So it is open-ended until he and I decide to void our partnership.
It's all good. Florida Gators all day over Florida State. And let's keep it real. SMU Mustangs, go Mustangs. Go Pony, Dallas County, baby. Now.
The only Dallas County that can win.
The only Dallas team that can win.
Whatever,
Now. Let's get it back into this. So Disney, they know when to make movies and when not to. They put a little bit of time between Moana and everything else. And I'll say this, Moana is a great way of getting Samoan, Hawaiian people involved. It's kind of a better take than Lilo and Stitch. Let me just put that out there. Because they're in the same vein, Pacific Islander type stuff. And I'm not trying to get canceled, but I'm just saying it is. What?
Not that I'm just let you re-listen to this later and see what you sound like.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying.
No, because you're entitled to your opinion, and that's something we say all the time. Everything that we say on this show is our opinion and our opinion only. If you don't like it, that's fine. You're allowed to disagree with it. But you also need to realize you came on here and basically said that Moana is better than Stitch.
Yeah, I'll say that all day.
Okay. And I'm just saying there's a lot of Stitch lovers out there.
Moana's better than Lilo and Stitch.
And I wasn't arguing with you.
I mean, except for the pink one, because I wanted the pink one to be a girl. But anyway, let's get back to this.
But all I'm saying is ooh, you in for some.
And a quick thing right here, I do want to give a quick obituary. I want to say this is hard for me. Rest in peace to Athena Grand.
Right. I'm so upset about that.
One of the best movie theaters I've ever been to in my life. Mm-hmm. I've seen enough movies there to say that I'm a regular.
Yeah. Which is located in Athens, Ohio.
Yes, near the University of Ohio. Mm-hmm.
It was nice because it wasn't that far to drive. You pay what, a $12 ticket in Vienna, or you can drive 20 minutes down the road and pay $5 for a ticket there, plus everything else that you want to do. You have Walmart, you have restaurants, and now you don't have a movie theater, which I completely understand why they're doing it, but it's kind of heartbreaking for someone that used to go there almost every weekend or every other weekend at least.
Yeah, it's crushing to me. I hope that someone can figure out something in the near future. Maybe someone buys it and saves it, or maybe.
Now, as far as I know, they do still have the Fun Barn, which is a little further up the road. Like, it would be a good opportunity if you want to like take your kids to the movies and let them play in the arcade type area. But if we're just wanting to go watch a movie, obviously we're not going to go that far.
Right. And I will say this as a pledge to the company that I do have Sometime Cinema. We will still be out there in the world, and we will be making outdoor movie theater experiences happen. So that's not a plug for that. That's just saying something, because cinema, I do have an arc of episodes from last August on West Virginia Commonplace talking about the death of cinema. And this is something that I predicted. And I'm sorry that this happened to them. I wish it wouldn't happen to them, but it seems like all those theaters up there in the Mid-Ohio Valley are disappearing. But anyway, to Moana, shout out to Regal Cinema in Lynchburg, Virginia for the cinematic experience for this movie. A very nice and very lavish place. It caught me on a day when I was feeling very generous, because the type of money that got spent in there is the type of money I put into my equipment for all the other things that I do. So I want to say a big shout out to them, and I want to say thank you to the young man that was working the front desk. I don't know your name, so I won't disrespect it or do anything disrespectful in that one. I will say he made an amazing experience.
He did.
And going into the theater, first things first, because I'm going to do my theater experience. A luxurious 4K experience with shitty seats. The
seats were pretty uncomfortable.
The seats were uncomfortable. And I'm thinking to myself, because we actually got to pick where we wanted to sit and everything and watch this movie.
Well, you had to pick your seats as you purchased the tickets. So you couldn't just walk into the theater and pick a random seat that you wanted. They had assigned seatings that you chose whenever you did the checkout process.
Which I think that's a fair and fun thing, and that's probably something from COVID that's just went over.
I can understand that on people that have been in those theaters before, but I had never been into that theater, and I don't know if you've been in it since they've done any type of renovations or anything like that. But I wish they would have had like a better kind of layout of what the theater actually looked like, because it did look like they had those bars and you could, barely squeeze through the bar to get into your seat.
True. So overall, I'm not gonna like I said, the experience of the people that helped us, and the things that she could get there. Shout out to them for that.
Like the people and the equipment was amazing, but like you said, the seating could be a little bit better.
Right, for that much money for that ticket and everything, I was expecting something luxurious. Right. But we'll leave that to AMC for the next go round. So Moana 2, it was a nice delight for me. Good thing I like about this movie is that this movie follows a suit that I love in movies. You need to watch the first one before you watch this one.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. And I love that when you can't just watch a movie and get into it. If you did not watch the first one, you're not going to know what's going on.
Like, I mean, you're going to get the gist of it, but you're going to better understand it and the reasoning behind some of the choices if you have seen the first one.
Okay, I can go along with that.
Yeah. Because, some little kids aren't going to sit there and watch both movies back to back. So, if you just want to take your kid to the theater and let them have that theater experience, I'm not telling you not to. But, if you as an adult, you make sure you watch Moana first. The first one first.
Right, and you go through that. So, I'll tell you this. The thing I guess I've gotten used to with movies, a lot of movies are long-winded now. They take too long. And this movie did not take long. In comparison, this movie was an hour and 40 plus minutes. And the other movie that a bunch of people were watching was something called Wickeded or something like that.
Wicked, Chapter 1 or Part 1.
Yeah, that movie was 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was like going to see Oppenheimer with some witches in it, in my opinion. And I won't even go into any more detail about that. And I'm not going to give it any more light, but I'll just say this. So Moana, tell us where the story picks up, please, Stacey.
So first off, she's exploring. Like, at the end of the first one, she was able to get over the reef. Is that what they called it? Or the sound or whatever that was, basically. And return the heart of Te-Fiti and basically make things right. So now she's out venturing and trying to find more people because she knows that there have to be more people out there than what is on the island. And that kind of, she finds this, actually, it's not even her. Which one was it? Was it Hey Hey or the pig?
I think it was Hey Hey.
Bacon or eggs. Or shoot, yeah, bacon or eggs, yeah. But yeah. So then she comes back to the island and everything happens and this and that. And I don't want to give too much away because I feel like I want to encourage people to go watch it. So I don't want to tell too much. So what was your expectation versus your outcome?
And this is hard because I made a reference to another series. I expected this movie to eclipse the first movie.
You thought it was going to eclipse the first movie. Okay.
And this movie did no more than what Frozen did to Frozen 2. Moana 2 plays...
I respect your opinion on that.
Moana 2 and Frozen 2 are great movies.
Mm-hmm.
They keep a story going. But maybe the third version of Frozen and then the third version of this movie will do like Toy Story 3 did. Because, for me, when you do 3 movies, Toy Story 1 was good, right? Toy Story 2 was like, but Toy Story 3 set it off. So if this movie gets another sequel, the third one will be better. The second one, I just feel like that this was a very rushed story. I understand that it had its highs and lows and it's a children's movie and you're supposed to get in and get out pretty fast. But here are some major things that didn't develop for me. The villain. The villains in this movie were not as tough as the first movie.
See, and that's the thing though. It gave you who the villain was. And it gives you a curveball with a certain expectation of what you think is going to happen. And then your main villain, I don't think you understood that was who that was. And that was the boss, the big boss. Because it was not necessarily a tangible person. It was that this, I think it's the god put this curse on this area to basically be where people couldn't communicate with each other. Like different islands couldn't communicate with each other. And that was the big boss. And she had to defeat that curse. So it wasn't like Te Fiti had turned evil and they were trying to defeat Te Fiti. They were actually trying to defeat the curse.
Okay, so let me say it like this. The main boss in this one was underwhelming, if that makes sense. Because
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I also don't feel like you understood that was the boss until afterwards and me explaining it to you. So now you were already disappointed with it because you didn't understand that was the boss.
I know.
Because you expected more.
I know. I needed a villain.
But that was the villain. Yeah. Like you didn't comprehend that at the time of watching the movie. So now the movie was basically ruined for you. Not ruined, but it was a disappointment to you because it didn't meet your expectations and what you went in for, because you thought it was going to be a tangible monster and not just a curse that they have to defeat. I think that's where your disappointment is because there wasn't a real monster, a real villain. It was a curse.
I will agree to disagree. I will just say that regardless that was just the underwhelming part, the storyline worked out pretty well. One thing that was missing for me was the sub-boss that turned out to the sub-boss that was in this, because there was a sub-boss that was fighting The Rock's character. That story didn't get complete for me. The island.
Like when he... Okay, say that again.
Like after they left the island with the lady that had trapped him there.
Te Fiti.
Yeah.
After they left Te Fiti.
Yeah. That story, I needed more to that. I understand.
But that was the completion of that. They returned the heart of Te Fiti. So that took the curse off of Maui.
Right.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Right.
It took the curse off of Maui, and it also turned off, like it basically took away the curse that he created because he stole the heart. So the people were actually able to, because you remember in the first Moana movie, everything was dying.
Right.
And they couldn't get across the sound or the reef or whatever it was, they call it. So she was the only one that was able to do that because she was a voyager. And they were so afraid to get off of the island because everybody, either they would not come back or they couldn't get over. So when they returned the heart, that basically turned her back to good. So it made the things not die. And yes, they were still able to start producing gardening basically, and the coconuts, and they were able to travel further for fishing and do all of that stuff. But so the start of the new movie is like they want to be able to repopulate, or else their generations and lineages are going to be dissolved, because after so long you can only have kids with so many people if everybody's related.
Understandable. But overall, this is how I'll move with this movie, because you could went a little deep into it, because this is something you really like. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I probably have a prejudice and a little bias to it, because I was expecting more. And like I said, it fit right into the Frozen 2 realm for me. This movie will be great for people to go see. This is a holiday warmer. This is something to get you into the movie theaters. It has stiff competition right now in the theaters, because it's going up against something that's, I don't even know, out of this world right now, because we both know it's out of this world, because we've seen what the theaters have been looking like. I've watched an AMC for like 4 or 5 days being packed every single day.
Right.
For this other movie. But I will say this movie will go down as a classic. It will tie over until a third one comes out. If a third one doesn't come out, these two movies will be dual. They're not going to upset the Frozen status, because Frozen is... Sure? Frozen is got a certain pinnacle to it.
But I do feel like the way that it ended, it leaves it up for a third possibility. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments there. I haven't seen anything for a third Frozen.
Right.
Which I'm sure there probably is. But I think the big draw to Frozen is probably the snowman and the reindeer.
Right. And their songs.
Yeah.
Well, the first one's songs. I don't know about the second one.
Right.
But on that note, I'm JR.
We ain't done.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nah, this movie ain't been out very long. We ain't even talked about money or stats or people in it, or even the excitement of the new live action one coming out. Like, come on. You ain't gonna cut me off yet.
This is one time I'll just hand the show to you.
Okay, nah. Because I enjoyed it because it wasn't super long. Like, it was 100 minutes. And I think that's a very good time frame for an animation movie. Do you agree, disagree, anything like that? I know you thought it should have been longer and there should have been a big boss or whatever, but I feel like it wrapped it up very well.
For the attention spans that are out here in the world today, this is a movie that's fine for them. The TikTok crowd, I will give it to you all. This is good for you all because, you didn't play with your phone or anything like that. You watched the movie.
Right.
And I think even if you had watched it on Disney Plus, you probably wouldn't have played with your phone.
Right. Not the first time.
Right. Or the second time.
No, but I would my third time.
Yeah, third time.
I mean, I will, and it's something I will watch again. I'll probably watch it a few times.
Right.
Because I enjoyed it that much.
But my real question is, since, I'm a podcaster, you're a podcaster too sometimes. Oh, that was a dig.
Yeah, you are a dick.
I said dig.
Oh, well, whatever.
Oh, wow. Oh, snap. You got beef in the streets? But anyway.
We do.
So here we go. Here's the thing. Does this movie have the replay value of an Encanto or the first Moana for you? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to have to hold that answer until I watch it a second time. Because I'll be honest, Encanto was not a movie that I thought I would rewatch multiple times until I watched it the second or third time. And then I kind of fell in love with it. And the same thing, Moana, the first Moana, I was more, ooh, I love this movie. It's so cute. I love it. And the first Frozen, it was one of those ones where I made sure the girls had everything Frozen because I was obsessed with it as well whenever it came out. But this one, it wasn't an instant obsession. it's more of a, let me see it a second time whenever we are able to obtain it. And then I'll let you know. So here's my question. How much money do you think they made? Because mind you, it came out
November 27th.
Well, it says something about the 21st and then the 27th in the United States.
Average Disney.
Their budget was $150 million.
Average Disney movie like that, probably like $400 million.
Okay. Wikipedia says $423.4 million.
Right. Something about that. Because, like, I mean, no offense to anything that came out, it was a blockbuster. Now, did it beat the other movie in the box office? Don't know. But I will say this, like, both of those movies coming out at Thanksgiving time, and this was with this year, it was a revival of people going to Black Friday. People, people were going to see this movie on Thanksgiving. I can clearly say that this movie probably took some people out of their homes and cut dinner short, and some people didn't watch NFL this year, which there were sorry ass games on anyway.
Right.
People went to the movie theaters, and I guarantee you at Christmas time, people will be leaving home, probably on your birthday, going to see these movies again. And I do not see this movie or its competitor leaving the theaters until January.
Right. And I think it's a good one to take your kids to, as long as they can sit there, we'll say 2 hours, and not be throwing a fit. If you've got a young child or their attention span is not that good, either don't take them or be prepared to get up and walk them out in the hallway. Because that's one thing I will say. There was a little kid that started to get angry and started screaming and something, and I saw Dad take him out, or her take it out.
That dog was gone.
Right. And I was thankful for that, because, we paid that much money to go watch a movie. I want to be able to enjoy it and not have a child screaming. But I'm not saying that would have been a sour thing in my head, but
take them young thugs to the matinee. Like, they only like that movie was playing at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. Take them thugs to a matinee.
Right. And like, I can understand a little bit of noise and whatever and whatnot, and especially if it's like an interactive movie or something, but either be prepared to take your child out in the hallway or don't come. And I applaud that dad for doing what he did.
Shout out to that dad.
Anyways, so here's the time in the show. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to the podcast. You can find us on, what do we have now? We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have X, we also have a Patreon. We are slowly building the content over there. So if you would like to support us, we have our bottom tier right now at $5 a month.
Yes.
And leave us a comment. Follow us anywhere you would like.
And we're still on Letterboxd.
Oh, okay. I forget about that because I'm not as involved in that yet.
Yeah, and on that one we rate the movies. We don't get to leave a actual report on what we rate, but you can see what we rate and the different things there. And one thing I want to do to get everybody hype and stuff, it's Christmas time. Get ready for the Christmas movies and have a good time. So on that note, I am JR.
And I'm Stacey, and I'm finally letting you sign off.